get it right and do it well because it's a high bar that everyone's watching. Yeah.
Thanks. Is that something you think
I'll tell you, sometimes people say when something's a big movie, or they think that like a little movie is more noble because it's smaller and there's big. I've done both and I respect both, but I really think there's, as a parent and as an audience member, when I see Disney or Marvel or these different logos, I know that I know that it's going to represent certain things. I know that I can, I know that there'll be a certain level of quality. I know, and so that's good. And they've been going for some new things, and they'll swing. And sometimes you swing big, sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. But I know, because I've been in them, how much work goes into every single one of them, and how much they consider the audience, how much they consider their fan base. Maybe more so than any other studio, because they're so dependent on their fans that they make the movies for them. And I think that's a really nice way of working.
With something like Onward, it's original IP, which is cool that there's room in there. I think because of Pixar has enough reach to kind of get people in a seat and excited to see it. It's a Pixar movie, so you love Toy Story, you love The Incredibles, so you'll come see this. But it feels less and less rare that original IP gets an opportunity to get out there and sing something that doesn't have the reach. And so I'm grateful that I'm able to be part of something, to be part of a really moving original story that Dan's come up with. I mean, it's unlike anything I've ever seen before or anyone's ever seen before. So I feel grateful in it all, but there's probably a longer conversation to be had about the nature of that.
Keep the game fairly high.
I think you raised the bar.
Well, it's wonderful to be with people that you really respect and appreciate, and that actually. I'm interested in the stories. I don't mind who's doing the stories, and as long as there is that breadth and variety and the attempt to engage different people in different modes of storytelling, and also I happen to also love the fact that people come to the cinema. You know what I mean? And I love the fact that there are movies that still encourage that and engage people in that way. And I feel like that also helps people come to the cinema to see other films that are maybe smaller films, that are maybe different companies and smaller companies and independent companies. And it keeps that community alive in some way and in a very important way.
Children and wife sign an NDA. I promise not to say anything, which is no good because an 8-year-old and 4-year-old probably can't keep a secret until it's said goodbye. But thankfully, I don't think anything's going to move. The MCU in particular, like people have that conversation. You have a conversation about what it takes to get people to go to the movies, right? Now, obviously, they're going to come see the Disney animated ones. They're going to come see the Marvel Universe stuff because there's an element of spectacle and anticipation, and there's sort of like a communal experience that people are looking forward to sharing together. So it's nice to be in things that sort of mandate that, like, yo, I can't wait to see this next thing. And it just so happens that the house, the Mouse Build, has been doing it well for a really, really long time. I think there's so many different outlets, man. I think it may shift in terms of where people place their films, in terms of whether it's going to be on streaming, in terms of whether they're going to try to do an independent route, or whether or not they want it to be like a tentpole sort of thing. It's changed. Like, the industry has changed, and I haven't been in it that long, but I've seen it change drastically in just the 15 years. I don't know if it's anything that you can worry about, so to speak, but as a producer, I just say, where's the best place for people to view my content where it'll get the biggest response? And that can vary. There are certain things that are perfect for streaming, and there's certain things that are perfect for the Cineplex.
Go for it. Awesome.